Thursday. It's the last full day of our holidays. We've spent the last couple of days on this really beautiful white sand beach called Adichie, largely just doing admin in a cafe, but by the sea, so that's been really nice, and feeling pretty ready for heading home now. Definitely ready to kind of get clean and get unpacked. But it's been such a lovely holiday. I thought I would give my final reading update before the flight. I'm hoping, as usual, some really loud soaring noise, sorry, I'm just going to have to work with that. I'm hoping as usual to at least finish something off on the flight. Hopefully finally Childhood, Boyhood, Youth, which I've literally been reading since January. It's insane. It's now like the very beginning of April. But I have mostly been reading that still on the holiday. I'm now well into his youth. I'm pretty close to the end. I'm really enjoying it still. Tolstoy's perceptiveness is great. The main boy in it is becoming increasingly annoying as he's getting older, but I quite like the way that Tolstoy is simultaneously reporting his irresponsible behaviour and comparing it with what his thought process was internally, and how there's this kind of complete disconnect between his thoughts and his actions as he's growing up. And like the first person narrator is kind of aware of these flaws in his late teenage self as he's describing them, so that's quite well done, even though the character is becoming, as I said, increasingly annoying. I've also been listening a lot to Diamond, which is the fourth novel in the Hetty Feather series. I'm finding it absolutely fine. I'm not loving it, but I'm not hating it either. It's probably going to be like another 2.5 to 3 stars. I sort of feel like I owe it to myself to finish the series, and it's a nice light listen, so I've been enjoying that too. But yeah, just a very quick update because we need to go and do some more admin stuff. Travelling during COVID times is very admin heavy, but I do feel like it's been worth it. It's been so nice to have a break, and I'm so incredibly grateful that we are in a country where we're allowed to go on holiday. I will film a few more clips, do a little montage, and I will catch up with you when I'm finally home on the reading that I did on the plane. Sunday, I'm home, I am clean, I have a lovely cup of my French Earl Grey tea, which I have been looking forward to all holiday, good cup of tea, and I'm happy to be back. I had a wonderful time, but I'm happy to be back. I love coming home. I'm just going to round this vlog off by talking quickly about the books that I read on my flight on the way back. I have finally finished Tolstoy's Childhood, Boyhood, Youth, which I was supposed to finish in January and obviously didn't finish actually properly until April, which is crazy. I enjoyed it. It may not seem like I enjoyed it because it took me so long to read, but I did. It was one of those books where when I was actually reading it, I definitely did enjoy it. I thought the writing was exquisite. Like, Tolstoy really does write like nobody else. His observations are phenomenal and prolific. Like, the number of incredible gems of observation he includes in all of his writing outnumbers basically any other author. I gave it 3.5 stars. I felt like I couldn't possibly have given it less because in some places the writing was just simply stunning. Like, for me, particularly early on in the book, his perspective on childhood, on the emotions of childhood, on love between members of the family and how this is displayed. There's one letter in the book that if you've read it, I think you will never forget, from his mother. And it's just really beautiful, but I also felt like I couldn't give it more than 3.5 stars because honestly, it wasn't a book that I found myself gravitating towards really at all over the last 4 months or so. Okay, change of location to finish off at last, because the road traffic noise was just so bad in the other room that I couldn't hear myself think. I've just moved into our spare room slash dumping ground room, featuring my books that don't fit on my shelves. I ended up also reading another book on the plane. I read We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda and Ngozi Adichie. This hardly counts as a book. I knew it was short, but I honestly did not realise it was so short. It is her essay, obviously, about the topic of feminism from the title, and it's actually, which I also hadn't realised, a written adaptation of a TED Talk that she did on the topic of feminism. It literally took me 20 minutes to read, and I enjoyed it. It was good. I was actually thinking it's a book that I wish that I had read 10 years ago, because crazy to me now, but 10 years ago I definitely didn't really fully understand the concept of feminism. I would even have said that I wasn't a feminist because it was important to me to get married and have children, and I didn't realise that that was a thing that you could do that fell under feminism, which, yeah, like I say, just blows my mind. I clearly had so much to learn about feminism back in the day, but now 10 years on, this is a book which, if you are already on board with feminism and why it's important, probably won't open your eyes in any particular new direction. I did like the fact that she included quite a lot of comments about Nigeria in this book and her experiences of being a woman in Nigeria, to compare that to experiences in the West, and I guess just to show the extent to which the world more widely still desperately needs feminism, outside of the still extremely important but less perhaps dramatic examples from the UK. It's a very well-structured essay, it was an enjoyable read, and like I said, an incredibly quick read. So definitely worth picking up and flicking through, but it kind of felt to me more like reading a newspaper article than an essay because it was just so short, and I think maybe just watch the TED Talk. I haven't watched the TED Talk, I kind of feel like I don't need to now because I've read the essay, but you could feel the structure of a speech running through it, perhaps even more so than of an essay, and I think it would be even harder hitting and more enjoyable to see her delivering it herself rather than to just read the words. So those are the things that I polished off on the flights on the way back. I really enjoyed all of my reading over the holiday. I really enjoyed being away and having a break and a change and a rest, and I'm excited to carry on with my reading coming back home. Now I feel like I've got through a few things that had kind of been hanging over me a little bit more. I'm ready to start some new books. I'm doing a week working from home for online school for our first week back before I go back to school in person, so I will vlog next week because it's a bit more vloggable when I'm at home than when I'm working in the classroom. So I'll let you know what I pick up next and my thoughts on it next week. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video.